Well, welcome back. This is the baking portion of the Grandpa Jeff's cookies. Let me explain the story real quick to you. This is all about science. This is all about it took me a load of runs of cookies to figure this all out and why it happened. My mom got me a KitchenAid mixer for Christmas when I was pretty young, and my kids, I was recently divorced after that. My kids were on the way over to see me the next day, and I wanted to make them monster cookies, and they like chocolate chip cookies, so I opened the old KitchenAid book and I decided to make some chocolate chip cookies. Well, I wanted to make monster cookies for them, so what happened is I kind of popped open a beer and kind of drank a beer, maybe two, and thought it was pretty cool the way the mixer worked. And so the more I let it run, the more air it whipped into the cookies, and the monster cookies ended up looking like, large softballs halfway through the baking period time. So I simply took a spatula and I whacked them. I knocked them down. And after I did that a couple times, I thought, oh my gosh, they're pretty darn good. That wasn't the beer. That was actually they were dang good cookies. They were humongous, but they were really good. So that's the whole idea behind this thing. You whip air in halfway through, not halfway through, but I run my timer at 18 minutes. At about the 6-minute mark, when it's 6 minutes left, I pull them out, turn the pan, and give them a good whack. And what that does is it makes your cookies rise twice. And so you get the crispy outside and the nice chewy inside. I'll be showing you how to make the balls here in a minute, and how big to make them. This is just we're just getting started here, so I'll talk to you in a second here. Thanks. And hello, we're back. We're going to talk about the dough. We're going to talk real quick about the pans. All this is, once again, science. The dough itself, I try to keep cold, almost just about frozen. The reason for that is it takes a little bit longer for them to bake. They kind of make the equal round cookies that I like. They're not gooey all over the place when you're trying to mess with them. And so put your dough in the freezer. This is one of those big Tupperware jars, the tubs that sometimes I fill 2 of these and bake full. And if you can imagine, that's quite a long time baking. But anyway, back to the dough and the cookies, the dough balls. Got a ruler here, roughly about 2 inches on your balls, round. Make them 2 inches in round, roughly. I only put 6 to a pan because the little buggers can start moving around on you when you got them in the oven. And then you're stuck with cutting cookies apart, and this way it just makes it a little bit easier. I run 2 pans at a time, 18 minutes on the timer. Once you get down to 6 minutes, we will be back to show you the next step. And that's the whacking part. It's kind of fun to say that, whacking. It's a whacking part. So I'll be right back. And we are back. Now for the fun part. This is the whacking part. What we're going to do is take our spatula and we're going to simply give them a whack. Like I said before, that is what makes them rise twice and makes them nice and chewy on the inside and crispy on the outside. Okay, and we're back. The last thing I want to talk to you about, and with also a few pointers afterwards here. You see, like I told you before, the little buggers kind of move around a little bit. And if you simply take your spatula. Stick it in between the center, kind of give it a little rock. It kind of makes that cookie just kind of go back and forth a little bit, makes them round again. Something like this. We're not going to have a round cookie, but you know what? We don't really care because it tastes pretty darn good. You may have to leave them set in the oven a little bit longer than the 18 minutes. Kind of look at the tops of them and see how golden they are on top. You want them kind of a nice golden looking on top. Sometimes they are a little white once in a while, and so that's, you know, you want to leave them in a little bit longer than that. Just kind of bake it to what your needs are. Maybe a minute longer, you know, not long. The other thing I want to talk about is the pans. My pans look well loved. They are well loved. You'll see on the outside edges I've got some caramelizing going on here. I could scrub that down, but you know what? It doesn't affect the pan, and it also, you know, sometimes it'll give it a little bit better taste sometimes, I guess. I don't know. These pans get used a lot. They get used quite a lot. So anyway, the other thing about the pans, after you get done running them, like this one here I'll wipe off. And I really like to bake in the wintertime because that way I can set something outside, like a bucket or a wooden crate. After I wipe down my pans, I stick them outside so that the cold air cools them off. I like my pans to almost be frozen before I use them. It tends to make them bake, the cookies bake a lot better. So just a tip. Also, spray pan, only spray pan. I've tried other brands in the past, and I'll tell you, Fairway brand and things like those other cheapo brands, they're cheaper, but your cookies will stick, they burn. It ain't worth it. Don't waste the money if you're not gonna, you know, if you're gonna put the money into baking these things. Use a little pride, Pam. So I hope this helps you guys. If you guys got any questions, please feel free to email me. My email address is jeffheinrichs1@gmail.com. That's JEFFHINRICHS1@gmail.com. Happy baking, and like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of me. I'd love to talk to you. Have a good day now.